What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I just want to get my quick prediction video in. I haven't made it yet for tonight's fights, so let me do it real quick and sum up tonight's fights. We did see excellent boxing last week. Mikey Garcia, Orlando Salido, although that fight didn't end in the fashion in which most of us wanted it to. It was still a good fight. The undercards were good. I think there was a robbery in the first fight with Martinez. And then the second fight was entertaining as well. So this week, fast forward to tonight, we have Lucas Matthysse and Mike Dallas Jr. as the main event on Showtime. And on the undercard, they have Selçuk Aydin and Jesus Soto-Karass. And I'm looking forward to these fights. These are going to be the fights for really the serious boxing heads. You may not know some of the other players involved, like Mike Dallas or Jesus SotoKarass. It depends on how active you are in the sport of boxing. But most boxing fans would agree this is a pretty solid card, especially for the end of January, just a random free event. Let's start with Jesus SotoKarass and Selçuk Aydin. And for this fight, I'm going to have to pick Selçuk Aydin. I don't know all of his background. I did see the Robert Guerrero fight with him. He put a lot of pressure on Robert Guerrero. It looked like Robert Guerrero was actually starting to fatigue. That could be due to a variety of reasons. I believe Guerrero jumped up 2 weight classes to fight Iden, who's a heavy-handed puncher, and he was off of a 15-month layoff, dealing with some family issues. His wife had cancer and the treatments and whatnot. So, not to make excuses because it is the fight game, but that could be possibly some of the reason, because it looked like Guerrero's body filled out more in the Berto fight, and I didn't see like the same. Well, actually, I did see some stamina issues, but it didn't look the same as the fight with Iden. But anyway, Iden's a heavy-handed, strong, like come forward type pressure fighter. He has a good record. I think he only has 1 loss, and that was to Guerrero. And again, it was a close fight, went to decision, and there were moments where it really looked like he had opportunities to almost get Guerrero out of there. Guerrero has a chin, so he wasn't able to do it. But I would definitely lean towards Iden for this particular fight. Jesus Soto-Karass, another person with a chin. He's been in there with some top names. He was on a 4-loss losing streak, and then the 4th fight was with Gabriel Rosada. I don't know if you guys seen him last week against Triple G. He received a 5th round TKO, Jesus Soto-Karass, by Gabriel Rosado. He's had some ups and downs with his career, to say the least. Most recently, he fought Marcos Maidana, someone who's maybe, I think, 2 fights into the 147 welterweight division. He fought Devin Alexander, I believe, was his first appearance at 147, and then he went to fight Jesus Soto-Karass. It was a Fight of the Year candidate on Showtime on the Canelo Josecito undercard. Good fight. It shows that Jesus Soto-Karass is a warrior. He has a chin. I just think Iden has a better record, so I have to I'm tempted to lean more towards him. And he's a heavy-handed puncher. So Soto-Karass, he did receive a TKO from another heavy-handed puncher, Marcos Maidana, and also Gabriel Rosado. So he's been through more wars. He's been banged up more. So yeah, for my prediction, I'm just gonna roll with Iden for this fight. It should be a good, close, competitive fight. Both people could win, but I would say Iden probably by a decision. If not, let's say a 7th round TKO, somewhere around 7, and he might KO Jesus Soto-Karass. So that's my prediction for the first fight. Second fight, Lucas Matthysse and Mike Dallas Jr. And I try to be as objective as possible when I'm doing my prediction videos, and just be well versed on the fighters. And this is similar to the prediction video that I did with Adrian Broner and Gavin Reese, where I really don't see the underdog pulling this one out. And there's instances like Josecito versus Victor Ortiz. I thought Victor Ortiz would win that fight initially, but that was because I didn't really know much about Josecito Lopez, and I knew he was coming up in weight and whatnot. But that wasn't as shocking based on Victor Ortiz's style, his quitter mentality, and that kind of thing. So that wasn't, I'm not surprised. if Mike Dallas Jr. beats Lucas Matthysse, then that'll be really shocking. Like, or if Gavin Reese beats Adrian Broner, that's a shock to me. If it's like I predicted that Andre Berto would beat Robert Guerrero, so when Robert Guerrero pretty much dominated and beat him, I wasn't shocked because I also said in my prediction video that any man can win. It's a 50-50 fight. So I feel like in the sport of boxing, there's a lot of fights that are like very close. You're always gonna have your predictions, and then there's fights that I really do, they just really seem like tune-up fights. Um, I don't think this fight is being made, but at one point it was being talked about Humberto Soto versus Manny Pacquiao. That's a tune-up fight. There's no way I could see Humberto Soto beating Pacquiao at all, because one, he's a fighter from much lower divisions, and he just got bullied by Lucas Matthysse. So just fights like that, it's one-sided. So this is no different. Mike Dallas Jr. versus Lucas Matthysse. Lucas Matthysse all the way. I don't see any way that Mike Dallas is going to beat him. Mike Dallas Jr. was also KO'd by Josecito Lopez. A more smaller frame fighter, I would say. I mean, he's tall, but he usually fights at 140. Now he's fighting at 147, but he was even fighting at a couple years back at 138 or 35. That's how much he was weighing on fight night. So he's a smaller fighter. So I really don't see him being able to deal with the body shots, the amount of pressure, and the heavy hands of Lucas Matthysse. So I really view this fight kind of as a tune-up fight, not to give Mike Dallas Jr. no hope or no credit, but I really don't see it any other way. Lucas Matthysse is on a roll, and he's beating fighters like Jose Lusigan, and that's a crafty, slick, stealthy, I think he's Nigerian fighter with the chin, and it took work, and Matthysse like finally got him out, I think in the 7th round or something like that. But that opposition is tough. That guy was undefeated. He has a crafty, like drunken monkeys type style, and before that, Lucas Matthysse dominated Humberto Soto, and that's someone who has never been knocked down in his professional fight or knocked out or whatever. So Lucas Matthysse, I feel like he has the momentum going into this fight. Mike Dallas Jr., again, I just look at it like a tune-up fight. This is also the guy that got knocked out by Josecito Lopez, so I really don't see him beating Lucas Matthysse. I much rather would have seen, even though Hank Lundy lost his last fight, I would have rather seen the fight as scheduled, which was supposed to be Lucas Matthysse versus Hammer and Hank Lundy. I would have rather seen that than Mike Dallas Jr., but you know, in boxing that happens, and I guess Hank Lundy had some kind of problem with his manager or some shit, so he had to pull out of the fight, and that fight didn't happen. But again, boxing is free. I definitely want to see it. I want to see what Lucas Matthysse is looking like, because hopefully this year, which is up in the air, but I would love to see like Lucas Matthysse fight someone like Danny Garcia. I would love to see Lucas Matthysse fight really anybody at 140. It's a stacked division. Brandon Rios, if he wants to fight Amir Khan, if he fights Maidana, 2 Argentinian fighters. I mean, there's a lot of different potential matchups, but I would really like to see those. Amir Khan, Danny Garcia, Marcos Maidana, and Matthysse. Bam Bam Rios. I don't really care. Like, all those matchups are excellent matchups to me, and I wouldn't mind any of them. So that's just my opinion on the fight. So for the first fight, I have Iden winning the fight. And the second fight, I have Lucas Matthysse clearly dominating and probably most likely stopping him. I would say like round 3 to 5 even. But I definitely think we will see a stoppage in the Lucas Matthysse fight, either a KO or a stoppage. That's my opinion. That's my prediction. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I'll be there to do my post-fight analysis. And make sure you guys subscribe, comment, and or hate. It doesn't matter because I'm still getting the views. Until next videos, Ego, signing off.